Welcome to the Country Hipster Podcast. I am Paul. I am the Country Hipster. To my left is my brother and co-host Adam, the Country Gretzky. And I call you the Country Gretzky because you are the first one to get a hat trick.
It's true.
With our picks so far. But before
the Country Great one.
That's actually even better. I don't even think so. I actually had like two other things for you. First, I had the Country Camper, and then I had the Country Hat Trick. And I was like, oh, I'll just call him Gretzky because he's the first one to get a hat. You know, but the Country Great one is actually pretty good. You fucking killed my idea already, man.
Sorry.
That's okay. Our theme music, if you needed a reminder, is the Unholy Four from Charlottesville, Virginia, and it is the song "Dirty Knife." Go check out the Unholy Four on Spotify and Bandcamp, as well as Instagram and I believe Facebook. And if you're ever in the Charlottesville area, just like walk into a bar in Charlottesville and be like, "Yo, do you guys have the Unholy Four? Can you play some Dirty Knife?" And they might stab you with the Dirty Knife, but it's worth doing anyway. So
it's worth getting stabbed.
It's worth getting stabbed. So what are you drinking there, buddy? We're actually drinking the same thing.
I'm drinking the same thing you gave me. This is where in South Jersey is this?
This is in Pittman, New Jersey.
Pittman, New Jersey, Neck of the Woods Brewing.
Yep.
This is Lot P Pilsner. I grabbed it out of the cooler because I thought it had a cool looking label. And then I pulled it out and realized that it's got a picture of Citizens Bank Park.
Yes, which
on
is
the label,
which is the home of the Major League Baseball Philadelphia Phillies.
Home of the Whopper.
I don't believe they sell Whoppers there, but they do have some pretty good food at Citizens Bank Park. So a couple things I thought was cool. Like, number one, the beer is delicious. Katie and I were coming back from the shore for the weekend. We were down, me, Katie, Regina, and Katie's brother and nephew went down to, we stayed in the villas, Cape May Villas, but we were attending a party on Saturday night in Sea Isle. And so when we were coming back up Sunday, me and Katie decided to stop off at Neck of the Woods Brewery. And it was pretty cool. So we got I didn't have this at the brewery. I had like a flight with some other stuff. Which if you look me up on Untapped, what is my Untapped?
I think it's H. Paul Weiss 3.
It might be H. Paul 3.
H. Paul, yeah, something. Yeah, H. Paul. I think there's a Weiss.
Oh, Paul W. is my thing apparently. I guess. Yeah. Oh yeah, Paul W. And I just toasted myself. And it has a picture of me doing my best impression of Adele's 21. And I'm generally drinking from the Ottsville Record Garage. So go ahead and follow me on Untapped if you want to see what shitty beers I'm drinking. And you can see which beers I checked in for my flight yesterday. And Katie did a flight as well. And I didn't have this. And I was going back and forth between, they have like a Jaws John, which is by it's Ron Jaworski Pilsner, and then this, and so I was going back and forth, and I'm glad I got this. But what's kind of cool is it says like on the side of the can here, Lot P is our go-to lager named after the parking lot where we tailgate for all our Philly sports games. Not every lot down in the sports complex area can tailgate at, so there's certain ones you can, certain ones you can't. Lot P, apparently you can. I mean, you can generally do it anyway. It's just you might get shut down.
Yeah.
And then the other note on the other side of here, I thought was pretty funny, which you didn't get because you're elder millennial fuck. Yeah. Says crisp and clear with aromas of passion fruit, strawberry, and Spectrum Concerts cannabis. So the Philadelphia Spectrum was actually built for the Philadelphia Flyers originally. That was their home, but they used to do a lot of concerts there. And if you got seats for a concert on the top level, you could smoke up there and nobody gave a shit what you were doing up there. So, but actually, it's funny. So the whole hat trick thing, I was thinking about this. So you got your 3 records in a row, and you right now you are. What are you? You are actually got mine in my notes here. Let me see in my notes. So you have 10 records now, including this one. Hold on.
Bless you.
Not even editing that shit. Fuck it.
It's staying in.
It's staying in. My sneeze is staying in. That is the country sneezer. But so this is your 10th record that we're doing, and it's only our 16th episode this season so far. And I was just thinking, hopefully you don't get another large run.
Yeah.
Like immediately, because people who don't know us and are searching are going to be like, oh my God, this is a podcast by an elder millennial who listens to bad music. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Yeah. No, hopefully we'll get, one of your old people records.
Well, yes, the old people records. People are like, oh, yeah.
Nick called you grandpa last.
Oh, yeah, fucking Nick. Yeah. So, yes, I mean, it's not completely inaccurate, but I'm not a grandpa. Not a grandpa.
No.
I just have a 7-month-old baby that's mine.
Yeah.
But it's I am not a grandpa. Just some quick business. I have some shows coming up Thursday, the day this is debuting. I am playing a Doonies in Voorhees, as I am every Thursday throughout the summer. And then Sunday, doing my Sunday afternoon show in the Horse in Sellersville out on the patio. So I think it's like 4 to 7 or something like that. 4 to 7. Yeah, 4 to 7. So stop by and have a good time. It's always a good time out on the patio there at the Horse in Sellersville. So Adam, what'd you do?
So I've had a busy week. Last week was inventory at my store, which causes everyone to go into a panic.
Inventory everywhere causes everybody to go into a panic.
Yeah. So I was rushing around because we had a bunch of freight to get done. We got
Wait, real quick. Is that a mouse turd on your table right there?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay, all right. It looks like a mouse.
No,
turd.
I don't think it is.
We are literally in my garage, so there could really be mouse turds around here. But anyway, go on.
So inventory was a pain. We got like a 1,500 piece truck plus like another like 1,000 pieces from another truck like 2 days before inventory. So we were like scrambling.
Fucking buyers, dude. I would shoot them in the kneecap.
We're scrambling to get shit done, and I ended up crushing my finger, my right middle finger, with one of the carts that we use to transport freight. I got it stuck between the cart and a countertop display, and it fell. It fell. I tried to lift it up. The cart shifted, and it dropped, pinched my finger, and split my right middle finger right on the seam of the first knuckle. And I figure when I went, it was great because when I went to the hospital to get stitches, I ended up getting 3 stitches from it. The triage nurse was like, "Oh, can I see it?" And I took the paper towel away and I showed him. He's like,
"But first, you pulled out your penis."
So first, I pulled my dick out.
Yes.
I showed him the cut, and he just goes, "Oh man," and I'm like, "I know, right? Shitty placement." He's like, "Yeah." It's literally like if it happened anywhere else on my body, I would have steri-stripped it or butterflied it or something. Mm-hmm. But it was right on the crease of the knuckle, so I'm like, that's gonna need fucking stitches. I know. And the doctor said the same thing when I showed it to him. He's like, "Oh man." I'm like, "Bad placement." He's like, "Yeah, you picked a winner." I'm like, "Yeah, it sucks." But I'm good. That could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
I dropped a very, very heavy thing on just the tip of my finger, essentially. So it could have been a lot worse. So I'm 3 stitches I'll take. I've had stitches before, so it's no big deal.
Yep.
But now I'm on vacation until the 26th.
There you go.
I have plans to me and my sons are gonna come camp out in Paul's backyard later on in the week, and was planning on taking them fishing. And I don't know, what are those reels called that I was
reels? I don't. Yeah, I'm really bad with that.
It's the fishing rods with the reels where the reel has like the thing that lifts up and down. I don't like them. I never used them as a kid. Mm-hmm. And
what's funny, they're the only ones I can really use. Yeah. But I never reeled. Like you were asking me, like, how do I spool this? I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Our dad bought them like
carefully
forever ago, like to go fishing down the shore, and we never used them. So the reels, it came with line, but the reel had no line on it, so I had to figure out through YouTube videos and just dumb luck how to spool this fucking reel.
I don't think it's that hard.
Oh no, it's like it's not. See, that's the thing that was frustrating me so much. Is like I feel like it's a very simple idea that for some reason I just can't perform.
Right.
It was just very strange.
That sounds like a conversation you need to have with Katai.
Yeah. So I finally got the rod all like spooled up and everything like that, and I was like, oh great, I still have one more of these fucking things to get done before we come up. So I'm gonna worry about that tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. I mean, it's good to be on vacation. I'll probably fucking lose my mind. I'm one of those people where if I'm not working, I start going crazy. which is why I started doing woodwork, is because I was off from work for a little bit, for like a week or so, and I started doing woodwork because I needed something to do, or I was going to lose my mind.
Right.
And yeah, I'm one of those worker people.
That is weird. I thought you were on welfare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hurt my finger. Could have been worse. I said I'm happy that it was, if anyone was going to get hurt, it was me and not somebody on my team. Because then I would have felt shitty because I'm in charge of everybody. So I would have felt bad if someone got hurt on my watch. I'm fine with myself getting hurt on my watch, but somebody else getting hurt on my watch wouldn't sit right with me. So yeah, got hurt, had inventory. Now I'm on vacation, and I'm trying to slowly learn how to be a fisherman. So
there you go.
Yeah, growing up, I always had the reels with the button.
Yeah, I never liked those. I thought they got tangled faster. I don't know. I was pretty good with the, like, it's like a snap reel or whatever. You just snap it down, toss it out, put it back up. Yeah,
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. So what's great is, so you fucked up the middle finger on your right hand. I fucked up the middle finger on my left hand. So
together we make a full
full fucked up finger. So mine's actually healing really well. And I guess the good thing about your injury there is that you didn't have to play guitar 2 days later.
True.
Which I did, which sucked those first two shows. So, but my finger, if anybody was wondering, my finger is just fine. It's doing just fine right now. So the nail's kind of like healing weird, but whatever. I don't really care about the nail. Yeah. It is what it is. But we are not here to talk about broken fingers or cut fingers or
broken
whatever.
Spirits.
Broken spirits. Well, this is actually how we deal with broken spirits. Is we buy too many records, and then we listen to too many records and drink beer and talk about them to keep our spirits up. Actually, my spirit's not. Yeah, my spirit. You got it. I see its guts on the table there.
Oh, he's kicking.
He's kicking. Ah, cool. Adam's killing flies on the table.
I apologize for that clanging noise. For you listening only. Listeners, it's that was my Zippo banging on the table, killing a fly.
Yes. But we are not here to talk about killing flies either. We are here to talk about season 1, episode 16.
I only showed up to talk about killing flies.
Oh well, then this is going to be a really short fucking podcast because I showed up.
Sorry, Tom.
To talk about Manchester Orchestra. I'm like a virgin losing a child, which was another one of Adam's picks here from his 25 and his third in a row, the first hat trick.
First hat trick, baby.
On the Country Hipster podcast.
But it's okay because, you're assisting in the podcast.
Yes.
And Gretzky had more assists than goals.
That's true. That is true.
If Gretzky never scored a single goal, he would still be like the points leader in the NHL because of all of his assists.
Oh, yeah. So you're saying like I'm your Messier.
Yeah.
Okay. All
yeah.
Right, cool.
You could be what's his name? What was the name of the what was the name of the guy? I watched a documentary about him.
Marty McSorley?
No. He was a guy who played with Gretzky. I think he played with Gretzky on the Oilers. He was like an enforcer.
Yeah, Marty McSorley.
No, it wasn't that guy then.
Okay.
It was another guy. I can't remember his fucking name.
Because McSorley got traded like with Gretzky, I think, to the Kings.
Okay.
And then eventually, I think when Gretzky went to the Blues, McSorley didn't go with him to the Blues. But the thing about Marty McSorley is the last game he ever played in the NHL, he like fucking straight nailed Donald Brashear with a fucking hockey stick right in the head. Donald Brashear was also another famous NHL enforcer as well, and I guess Brashear wasn't ready to fight him, so McSorley like literally smacked him with the hockey stick and ended up getting pretty much suspended for the rest of the season, and then he was like towards the end of his career. So the
person I was thinking of was Semenko.
Oh yeah, I don't know much about Semenko. No. So
there's a documentary that I can't remember. I'm trying to see what the fuck if I can find it. There's a documentary about him. I fell into this weird thing. I watched the movie Goon with Sean.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I love that movie.
And then right after that, I watched a documentary that was talking about enforcers in hockey and how people want to take the violence out of hockey, but the enforcers are like, if we're not doing our job, people are going to fuck around and get hurt.
Yeah.
People fuck around and people get hurt. And so we're kind of there to make sure, we're kind of our own self-governing our own self-governing entity. But they were talking about Semenko on that documentary being like the motherfucker who nobody wanted to fuck with.
Right.
And then I can't remember the name of the other documentary that I watched, but they had a documentary specifically about him.
Okay, that's cool.
But yeah, but we're not here to talk about.
We're
Semenko.
not. We are not.
We're here to talk about Andy Hull's baby. I'm Like a Virgin Losing a Child, which was released in October of 2006, October 14th, 2006 to be exact. Was released on Favorite Gentleman and Canvasback. Was produced by Dan Hannon, who basically has produced every single thing that the lead singer of Manchester Orchestra, whose name is Andy Hull, has done.
Okay.
He's done all of the Manchester Orchestra albums. He's done Andy Hull's side project, Right Away Great Captain. He's done Andy Hull and the guitar player Robert McDowell from Manchester Orchestra did the music for the Daniel Radcliffe, Paul Dano movie, Swiss Army Man.
Oh, that's a good movie. I saw that movie in theaters. That was cool.
They did the music for that.
It's a weird movie, but it's a good movie.
Yeah. He Rocket to the Moon. Why do I know Rocket to the Moon?
I don't know.
Yeah, but he produced a couple Rocket to the Moon albums as well. But that was one of the things I wanted to talk about. Was Andy, the lead singer of this band, not only has an extensive musical career, not just with Manchester Orchestra, but with side projects, such as like Bad Books and Right Away Great Captain. But he's also branched into like composing for movies.
Okay.
Which is kind of fun. So yeah, this album I discovered. Actually, my copy of the album. I wanted to talk about my copy of the album is a copy. I think I talked about on one of the past podcasts. Zach had moved away to college. Mm-hmm. One of his roommates had a turntable.
Friend of the podcast, Zach.
Friend of the podcast, Zach Reese had a
from Summer Movie Club.
Yeah, his roommate had a turntable. Zach bought a bunch of records. Zach moved back home, and he gave me all of the records that he had because I had the turntable in my room, and he wasn't going to come listen to the records in my room.
Okay.
So this was one of the records that I inherited from Zach when he moved back from college. I also told a story on the Say Anything podcast about how I was seeing Say Anything at the TLA.
Right.
And met the lead singer.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I had heard of Manchester Orchestra. I wasn't really into them. Manchester Orchestra was the opening act for Say Anything.
Oh, okay.
So after seeing them live, I really got more into them. And
how were they live?
I enjoyed them.
Okay.
I wish I enjoyed them, but it was also I wish that I knew them more because I feel like I would have enjoyed it better.
Okay.
I was kind of more of watching it from I know these guys, but I don't know them that well type perspective. I feel like if I had was familiar with Manchester Orchestra as I was with Say Anything going into that show, I feel like it would have been a way better show.
Well, I mean, you know,
yeah,
half the show is going to be horrible as it is, you know. So,
and if I'm not mistaken, Biffy Clyro, band from Scotland, opened for Manchester.
I think I have one of their albums up on the wall here actually that you can get at.
Is it the one with the person with the puzzle piece missing?
No.
Oh, because I like that. I like that album.
But I'm pretty sure
that was the album like they were touring with when I saw them.
Ah, okay. But you can get that at OttsvilleRecordGarage.com.
So yeah, I've always been a fan of this record. I hadn't listened to this full album in a very long time, and I'm really happy that I did. Got a chance to, because it's like I said, it's hard when your records live an hour away from you. We talked about before. Paul and I even had I had issues even making my 25 list because I couldn't remember what I had. I knew that I wanted to. I have 3 of Manchester's studio albums in my vinyl collection, so it was kind of a toss up between which one I wanted to put up on the 25. But I figured I would stick with the first one, this one.
How do the other two compare to this one, in your opinion?
So the second one is called Mean Everything to Nothing. I feel like you kind of get a taste of it on this album, where Andy Hull has some just very strange fucking lyrics. The lyrics get stranger on Mean Everything to Nothing.
Okay. Like the lyric, which is also the name of the album, I'm like a virgin losing a child, is a very strange lyric in general.
And then Simple Math is the third album of theirs that I have. And it's kind of an in-between between I'm like a virgin losing a child and Mean Everything to Nothing. So it has that weird kind of artsy shit, but then it also has like the more snappier, catchier shit.
Right.
I mean, and then again, Mean Everything to Nothing has probably their most well-known song is a song called Shake It Out. Is it Shake It Out?
I think you're thinking of Taylor Swift, Shake It Off.
No, it is called Shake It Out. That's what I was saying. I was doubting myself. I'm like, is that Taylor Swift? No, Shake It Out is probably their most well-known song. I think it's at least locally it had radio play.
Okay.
And I think it got some TV airtime when MTV actually played videos.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like this album is more, I feel like, radio friendly, opposed to Mean Everything to Nothing.
Okay.
And Simple Math is kind of like taking the best of both worlds kind of thing, where it's you have those like catchy radio songs, and then you also have your artsy shit.
Do you need another one?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
You'll take another one?
I'll take the Ritas.
You'll take the Ritas?
Because I know you don't like it.
I don't like the Ritas. I'm actually, so while we were down the shore, not to change the subject, we stopped at Cape May Brewing on Friday night. We went out to dinner. We got down there Friday, checked into our place, went out to dinner right away. And then after dinner, we went to Cape May Brewing, which I've been to before. Excuse me, I think like one other time before that, but it was cool. And they like,
I've never physically been there, but I've had a decent amount of their beers, and they're good.
Yeah, there's a musician playing, and you think like, oh, it's literally that scene from Sweet Home Alabama. You brought a baby to a bar, which we did, and Regina's awesome. So like literally, I had her in the Baby Bjorn, and like we walked in, and she was just looking forward and just like looking around, looking at everything, and trying beers,
being little baby Carlos.
Baby Carlos, and one of the things I got there was the Cape May Brewing Lager Longliner. It's very good lager. It's very good lager. I was also drinking, and I have them down there too. Their Bog, which is a cranberry shandy.
Oh, I think I've had that.
And that is fucking delicious as well. But yeah, so it was, oh shit.
Uh-oh, careful. Almost had a party foul.
Almost. But yeah, so this is just a real good, smooth drinking lager. I like it.
I just remember, because I scrolled back up to the top of the Wikipedia page, the thing that we joked about before we started recording. Yes. This is the second week in a row that we are covering an album that features a song featured in one of the NHL games.
Yes.
This one was featured in NHL 08, which I was joking is probably where our brother Zach heard the song. Okay. And which is where I then took them from Zach. The song featured in NHL 08 is the opener of the album Wolves at Night. Mm-hmm. I don't remember it being. I remember playing NHL 08, but I can't remember. I distinctly remember Quiet Things That No One Never Knows being in an NHL game. I don't remember. And then again, it may also have been because I wasn't really super into them at this point.
The song you mentioned, that's the My Chemical Romance song?
My Chemical Romance song, yeah.
Okay.
It was funny. I was driving with Zach today, and he was saying that he listened to the brand new episode, and Paul's an idiot. Like, he does, like, My Chemical Romance and Brand New sound nothing alike. I'm like, I know, but
they sound
dislikes it.
They sound a lot alike. But what's actually funny, did you catch the whole thing I did with the social media post last week? Yeah, okay. I don't know how many people did, but like, so like I posted
Well, at
about
first-
brand new, and then like I'm playing My Chemical
At
Romance.
first, I didn't have the volume on because I never have like the volume
Yeah,
on right away.
I rarely do too.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, you had like the intro to "Welcome to the Black Parade" playing.
Yes.
Like,
Yep.
I was like, "Oh, Paul's a fucking idiot."
Yeah,
That makes me laugh.
Well, you know, if hopefully someone, you know, hopefully you're following us on social media, which if you want, you can look us up on Instagram and Facebook at the Country Hipster Podcast, or on TikTok at just the Country Hipster. Yeah, no, I thought it'd be funny, and hopefully, you know, if you saw that on social media and then you listen to the podcast, no, those were fucking rat turds or mouse turds because I just found another one.
I ate one. Is that?
Oh God. I mean, it's probably good in fiber.
Yeah.
But yeah. So no, I just thought that was funny. I like to, you know, I like to do, you know, because I am a country hipster.
Yeah.
So I like to do ironic things with the social media. You know what I mean?
Like
So
to be ironic.
I don't know if everybody gets it, but generally the social media posts do tie back to the actual episode, other than just, hey, we're doing this episode. I do try to like make references that, you know, hopefully if you listen and you look at social media, you'll put it together. Sometimes you don't get the joke until a day or two later, but you know, it's good times. Good times. So
I'm just
and
trying.
listen, you know what? If Zach can, like, you know, he was probably drunk when he listened to My Chemical Romance and Brand New. So he can't, you know, he probably doesn't know the difference anyway, but
I was like, while listening to this album, it fits into the you know, the genre that I tend to gravitate towards.
okay.
But I feel like this might kind of be an outlier in my musical tastes.
Okay.
At least in this scene. It's not your typical emo album.
I don't even put this as an emo.
No,
I actually do. I mean, besides the fact that we've talked to pretty much, you know, I think we mentioned before there was the one podcast where the woman was talking about emo, and she said basically every album is an emo album.
Yeah.
Every band's an emo band, regardless of what they are. So take that aside. I would not put these guys.
I've never described them as an emo band.
At least I would not put them as early 2000s emo.
Yeah.
If I were to categorize them as an emo band, they would be late 90s emo, which is different than early 2000s emo. And I would put them more towards. I know the Wikipedia refers to them as an alternative rock band.
Indie.
Yeah, I think they're much more of an indie rock band, and you know, and we'll get into that. So yeah, I would not soil Manchester Orchestra with putting them with Brand New and Taking Back Sunday and you know, My Chemical Romance.
While listening to this album, I had the same thought that I have a lot of times while listening to stuff for this podcast, is that I wish I played drums more. Because I really enjoy the drumming on this album, especially it's not on my spoilers, it's not on my top 3, but the drumming on Where Have You Been is it's like halfway through the album, is by far like some of the best instrumental parts on this album.
The drumming in general, the percussion, the drumming,
continue.
It's excellent. It is excellent throughout. I don't know who the drummer is. I never heard of him. I could kind of care less.
His name's Jeremiah.
There you go. The thing I like about the drumming on this is that, and this is something that I think a lot of drummers lose in when it comes to songwriting, especially more technical drummers. All the drums on this album are musical to the song. They're not technical for the sake of being technical.
I would describe it's funny because it's like I would describe them as an indie band, and like something that like when I listen to it, like, oh yeah, that's a dead giveaway. That's like a telltale sign of an indie band, is like a very very lyrical drumming.
Yes. I think that's actually a really good way to put it.
And that's how I feel about this. Like, it's very like, I mean, like I said on Where Have You Been? It's at a certain point, it's literally just his vocals and the drums, and the drums are carrying everything.
Yep.
I've always described these drums as lyrical.
Yes.
And I'll never have the skill to be that type of drummer.
It's
I'm more of like I could play in an AC/DC cover band type drummer.
Yeah, well, you know why the drummer of AC/DC became the drummer of AC/DC? He was the guitar player of AC/DC. He was the rhythm guitar player, and they kept like trying out all these drummers who would do all this crazy like all this shit where they're just like, that's not what we fucking want. And the guy sat down, he's like, this is what we want, and started playing it, and they go, why don't we keep doing this? And
there's tons of guitar players.
That's how he became
only one guy who drums
and this is the original drummer who I think ended up going to jail for trying to kill somebody.
Oh, so
but yeah, so that is actually how he ended up being the drummer of AC/DC. He was the rhythm guitar player and ended up,
I did not know that,
turning into drummer, because he kept it basic, like this is what the song needs. And there's a fine line to that. So you know, there is the in the pocket drumming where you just want to like keep it. Like ska has a lot of in the pocket drummers who are very good and very technical drummers, but they have to be very in the pocket in the sense of, because they're really keeping everything together. And then you have Neil Peart, who was amazing. He's an amazing drummer and did great things for Rush, but every drummer, well, not every, a lot of drummers out there think they're Neil Peart. And you just shouldn't try. Just stop. Just find your own voice. Find your own thing. Yeah. And then you have these lyrical type of drummers, which, you know, like I like that lyrical sense that like this, the drums on this album are amazing. And I'm not a big fan of drums or drummers in general. And I think that like everything that was done with the drums really fits. So like I was talking to Sean from the Unholy Four about this, because we were in, you know,
I'm sorry, is that the Unholy Four?
The Unholy Four
performs
from
Dirty Knife?
Dirty Knife, our theme song that you hear at the beginning of every podcast. So we were in this band, and I've mentioned it a few times, called Disunion, and Disunion had a couple different phases, right? So when I first listened to this, I actually messaged him, and I was like, you got to listen to this band if you've never listened to them. I was like, because this reminds me of where Lou era Disunion was heading, because Lou was a very good technical drummer who could do the lyrical shit like that, but he was a dick. Yeah. So it just didn't work out. But the types of songs we were writing and the types of drums he was playing, definitely, like, I could hear us. You know, I'm not comparing what we were doing to Manchester Orchestra, but there's a line that can be drawn from what we were doing to, okay, this is if we had stayed a band, maybe this is the direction we would have ended up going. We probably would have ended up in the copycat syndrome, which I talked about, the genre copycat syndrome, but because we weren't the most original band in the world, but there was, you know what I mean? Like that's like, I could like, it's not out of the realm of possibility to say this is point A, this is point B.
I just have, where have you been stuck in my head now? I was like, I just have that drum.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Yep. So.
But I'm kind of interested. Because I don't think, Paul, that you would have suggested this band to somebody.
I wouldn't.
If you didn't enjoy them.
I enjoyed it. I dig it.
Check that shit out.
I dig the album. No, this is I dig this album, which is actually why I asked you, because I haven't had a chance to listen to anything else yet. That was like actually one of my questions I said that I wanted to ask you, and you went into them already. Again, jumping segments.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, because this was at least it kind of made,
Yeah.
It flowed. It wasn't like you were just like, oh, fucking up my whole thing when I told you not to talk about the album on Steel Train.
Oh, yeah.
And then you kept talking about your pressing.
Like, that's all I really had to talk about. Like, I had the story of how I got it.
We're actually listening to that on our way down to Cape May, and like the part where I'm just fucking up. You just fucked it up. Katie just like, she's driving, and she just starts laughing. She's like, oh man. But this I dig this album. Like I said, I would not call this band an emo band. I would definitely put them more on the indie rock tip of things. This is a solid indie rock album. It grabs you right away.
Yeah. That's what I think. and it is look when I like I said I hadn't listened to it in a while, and I listened to it on the way home from recording the brand new episode.
Yep.
And I like to I'll listen to the album all the way straight through as the track listing is put, because that's the way that the artist intended it.
Right.
And I think I accidentally had it on shuffle, because
I've done that too. Yeah.
It was playing shit out of order, and it just kept coming and coming. I'm like, fuck, I don't remember this album having so many fucking bangers in a row.
Right.
And then I realized that I was playing it on shuffle.
Yeah.
But like it grabs you right away. It holds on to you. It kind of like, there's a few times where it kind of like I feel myself start to slip. Which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah, we will.
But then it brings you right back.
Okay.
And I'm pleasantly surprised, because I knew that I mean, obviously it's gonna go one of two ways. But I had a feeling that like there might be something in this album that you would enjoy.
Yeah, so this album, like going back to Steel Train, right, where I was like, this song rips off this song rips off that, you know what I mean? Like definitely you could hear the 80s alternative influence in the Steel Train albums, except that they stole parts of it. Like they were just like straight fucking plagiarized songs.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, I'm just like, I think they did, maybe not intentionally, but like they fucking heard a song and were like, we're gonna write that song, and they fucking rewrote it. This song does not do that. Like, this album does not do that, but it harkens to, in the sense of that it is definitely the feel and some of the bands that I think probably influenced them as musicians. Like, I hear Cure. I hear the Cure through this, and like, not like the poppy Friday, Friday I'm in Love, and just like having Cure. I'm talking like the fucking cool, like, Plain Song, or fuck, I can't even think of it, but like the songs where it's just like, it's more musical, more lyrical. It's not necessarily a poppy song, but it's just a good fucking Cure song. Usually they're like 5 or 6 minutes long, even though like they only have one song on here that's like 6 minutes long. So I hear like the Cure almost B-sides in there.
2.
Okay. I hear, but with that, I also hear Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could feel like a Heat Miser / Elliott Smith definite influence to this music. With even, and this is why I say, if I were to categorize them as an emo band, I think it would be a mid to late 90s emo band, because I get a touch of Sunny Day Real Estate, Texas Is the Reason, and Jimmy Eat World from this album. And it's like kind of like all those things mixed in together. And what do I have here? I can't fucking read my notes. God damn it, I can't read what I don't know what I put in there. But like, and it's not like they're, and that's like, I'm saying, like, I'm mentioning these bands, and it's not like it doesn't sound like those bands. Yeah. You can feel the influence of those bands into those songs and into this album in general. And I think that's why it really,
it's not like the album starts playing and you're like, oh, this is a Jimmy Eat World song, or this is a Sunny Day Real Estate song. Like it comes on, you're like, oh, this motherfucker was listening to shit like this.
Yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, the cadence used while singing is like kind of like, that's where I got a lot of like the kind of like the, like, these guys don't sound like Texas Is the Reason, but the vocal cadences that he uses, like, if you listen to Texas Is the Reason, you could draw a line. Again, it's not an exact copy, it's not a match. It's just when you listen to the two of them, you can draw a line. Yeah, you know what I mean. So, the other thing I think the songs, every single one of these songs has depth. They all have depth, and and each is a great section. Like, I actually like, they don't do the basic verse chorus bridge repeat, they don't do that.
They don't do the Tim Berry special,
right? Exactly. But they their formula is on purpose, which honestly I tend to hate, that actually, because it's like when you have a band who's playing a song and they put a different part in the middle of the song just to make the song different. That doesn't fit. Honestly, it's one of my issues with Led Zeppelin.
Okay.
That Led Zeppelin, and when you think about the 2 songs that I really like by Led Zeppelin, they're straight fucking rock and roll songs. It is rock and roll. Well, the other one's more of a slow jam, and Tangerine. And because they're straight songs that go forward. And again, I don't necessarily mind doing different parts and different depths to song, but it has to make sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Honestly,
just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Right, and
dumb.
One of the things too, and sometimes it's like a key change, which doesn't make sense. And person who's really guilty of this, and some of the key changes don't even make fucking sense. Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift will, in the middle of a song or at an end of a song, switch keys, but it'll be like a fucking key that wait, why did you go up a fifth instead of like a step? You know what I mean? It's just like, what
Why'd
the
you
fuck
go
are you
up a
doing?
fifth instead of a step?
But it's just like, what the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? And it doesn't make sense. And
you know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
There is a you familiar with the comedian Bo Burnham?
Yeah, Bo Burnham. So here's my feeling on Bo Burnham. I think Bo Burnham is funny, but I have to take Bo Burnham in small doses.
Yeah.
I can't do long things of Bo Burnham.
He has on one of his specials, I believe it's the special called Make Funny.
Okay.
He has a song that he does where he's making fun of country music.
Okay.
And he at one point in the song he's singing a song in a very like cliche country singer accent. He's like talking about drinking Bud Light with the label facing out and shit like that. And one of the things, like in the middle of the song, is like, "How many of you dumb motherfuckers want a key change?" And then the key changes completely. That's probably where Taylor Swift gets it, is because she has those country,
I guess,
that country background, and that's just the thing.
I do it, and like Flogging Molly does it sometimes. Like in Irish music, it happens a lot too.
I forgot that you were wearing that shirt because you were wearing a Flogging Molly shirt when I got here.
Oh yeah, I was wearing a Flogging Molly shirt when I got here. So, but no, like Flogging Molly and What's Left of the Flag all of a sudden switches from G to A and then back to G. There's a Birmingham Six song called The Priest of Me, where it's kind of like a story song where like I'm telling a story about like whatever I'm telling the story about.
Being touched as a small boy.
No, but it is about a priest of me.
Yeah.
So but at the one point, like there's 2 instrumentals in it in the song. So at one point, like the song's generally in A. Well, drop it down to G for the second instrumental, and then we go back to A. You know what I mean? So there are things like that, which what I mean.
Fuck it, Flogging Molly did it.
Yeah, well, that's actually kind of what I was thinking.
Flogging Molly, good enough for Paul.
Me, but like there are key changes like that.
Yeah.
But this is different. These aren't key changes. These are straight like, here's part 1, here's part 2, here's part 3. It's not a bridge. It's just this is the part of the song. And like I said, all of these are done with purpose to create the song, not to just do something different.
That fucking fly. He knows I killed his brother.
He does.
Yeah, it's I think it's something we talked about with Brand New, where like the lack of gap between the songs is probably done for an artistic reason. What they like, it sounds kind of lame. It's like it's almost as like they're not trying to make an album, they're trying to make an art piece.
Yes.
And in my opinion, they pull it off.
What band are we talking about? I'm sorry.
This
band. Yes.
They're not trying to make an album. They're trying to make art.
So like that, we're like talking. I'm like, as I was reading my notes. Could have been worse. I could have been texting.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm very popular. But yes, I feel like it's the weird choices that they make aren't done to just be for the sake of being weird.
Right.
They're doing it for a specific artistic reason, and the artistic reason actually pays off.
And it works. I mean, these pieces it sounds like they're a super tight band, great lyrics, well written songs, with a lot of very precise rhythms throughout the whole album.
Yeah,
and they really do. And it's some of the stuff they do, like I'd almost like. What takes me back, because I didn't want to get too into it, because I didn't want to like give away right away that I like the album. I wanted you to kind of sweat it for a second.
I wanted to dangle it in front of my face for a little bit.
So you said that like you didn't know them live, and that's why I asked you how they were live, because I imagine a lot of what they're doing is difficult to do live unless you're a super tight band.
Yeah.
And
they pulled it off.
They did pull it off? Okay.
Yeah.
Because like another band who does it. So look at Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay.
Right? Who, especially on Melancholy, that album has a lot of songs that have a lot of different parts.
I just saw something funny today about Melancholy. And
Okay.
The sadness continue.
Has a lot of different parts, which as a I haven't seen them except for that one time, which they were absolutely horrible. But that's because
where did you see them?
Lollapalooza '94.
That's right. I remember you saying it was I remember you saying it was a festival.
Yeah,
I just couldn't remember which, because I remember giving you shit. It's like, I'm Paul. I go to historical events.
I do. But like they couldn't pull those songs off live, which is something I've heard in the past about from people who've like. But
I've talked about it in the past where I don't like when a song like on an album will fade out slowly fade out. I'm like, it's not how you're gonna fucking play it live.
Right.
Shit,
I'm bleeding.
When you play,
look at that
from your ear.
Yeah, I got a little thing there. Yeah. Do we got a tissue? Give me one of those rags over there. Give me one of those rags. Oh, god damn it. God damn it.
But yeah, I don't like the fade out.
We got a lot of blood on this episode.
We do. There's a lot of blood. Damn. The neighborhood is bleeding, Paul.
It is.
Right?
It is,
See what I did there?
Oh, it's good.
You don't know.
I do know what you're talking about. I do, actually. I do.
Yeah, like I like a live band. I like a live band to sound like, I like them to take some liberties, but I like a live band to sound like the album.
This is like a mole. I should probably get this checked out if it's like.
I thought you cut yourself shaving.
No, it's I'm not shaving right now. So
no, I mean but I thought because you got a little stubble, so I figured maybe you shaved and then scratched something.
No, it's like this mole. I should probably see a dermatologist or something.
Should probably see a doctor.
Yeah, but whatever. Okay.
But I'm very happy that you enjoy this.
No, it's good, man. So
I had a feeling that you might, and I'm happy it paid off.
I have a but.
I knew you would.
The second side, in general, it's kind of forgettable, which kind of goes back to like how you're saying, like at some point it kind of loses you. So well,
it's funny because I won't spoil it, but I'll give you guys a little teaser. 2 of my favorite songs on the album are on the side 2.
Okay, I forget. I think all my stuff came from side 1. I think I'm not 100% sure anymore, but like. I
don't know it's real anymore.
Yeah, right. So it's just the songs aren't quite as strong on side 2 as they are on side 1.
I guess so.
But I still like it. I still like what they're doing. It's a really great listen, and looking forward to checking out their other albums. Which now I know you have 2 others in there, so I'll probably pull those out. But yeah, so that was the thing, like, and it's one of those things, like, and when you say, it kind of loses you, like, I get that, because, like, at some point, like, because I've listened to this, I don't know, 5 or 6 times at least, like, over the last week, and
I also feel like it's a very quick listen too.
Yeah, for a 45-minute album, it's a pretty quick listen, yeah. But that's the thing, like at some point over into the second side, I kind of start to just like, it doesn't excite me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, yes, I got this on. I don't want to change it. I don't want to stop it. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like be like, oh my God, this is so bad. But I'm not as into it. It's a little bit slower, a little more drawn out. But the first, I think 5 songs, first half of the album is just like right on. It's just, there's a few bops in there. And it overall sounds great. Yeah, it's weird.
So I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm not, like you said, this is another album going to where you knew nothing about.
Yep.
So I'm happy I'm happy that I could introduce you to something that you now enjoy.
Absolutely. And I think that's great too. It's kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do this, not only for me or for you, but like for our listening audience in general. Now, I had heard of Manchester Orchestra. So Steel Train I never even had heard of.
Yeah.
But I had at least heard of Manchester Orchestra. I literally just knew nothing about them. I wasn't sure what to expect from Manchester. Honestly, I kind of thought it was like when before listening to this, when I heard Manchester Orchestra, I'm thinking it's like some kind of weird like classic rock on a transatlantic orchestra. You know what I mean? Something like, something weird like along the lines of like some prog rock or like Steppenwolf type of shit. Yeah. And I'm really glad it's not that, because
what was the I forget what it was called, but the guitar player Yngwie Malmsteen.
Yeah, exactly.
He put out a DVD that a buddy of mine showed me where it was he basically wrote this gigantic orchestral suite.
Oh, Jesus.
For him to just fucking guitar solo over.
Which, hey, I mean, cool.
It's cool. Like, like a dude walks out with like basically dressed as a pirate with a scallop neck Stratocaster and then just fucking shreds over, the Asian Philharmonic. It's pretty entertaining.
Which I will say, like, stuff like that, especially for someone like myself who's not a technical guitar player, or even I don't really even consider myself a guitar player. It's
I think you're better than Malmsteen.
Yeah, okay. Technically that shit is amazing and it's very hard to do. And it's and I've said the same thing, like, because when in the pilot when we were talking about Slayer and those guitar solos, they are musical fucking compositions, man. Like that shit is like difficult to do, especially at that speed, but
speed and accuracy.
I just don't like it.
Yeah.
It takes a
we talked before,
ton of muscle memory,
there's a ton of people who you've mentioned that we appreciate them as musicians.
Yeah.
Every single you said every single person in Led Zeppelin. I've mentioned John Mayer. I've mentioned Dave Matthews. Mentioned a couple other people who I appreciate them as a musician, but I don't give a shit about their music.
Right.
I just don't care.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, you can do something really well, but I don't care what you're doing.
It's funny you mentioned Dave Matthews. I'm actually going on Friday to see Dave Matthews.
You're going. I'm very excited for you. I'm not.
So okay.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of The Office when they go to the roller skating palace and Andy's like, it's like, play Dave Matthews Band. No hits, only deep tracks. And then they start playing, what's that fucking song? It's like, bam.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking.
That fucking song that they play on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
And he's like, I said no hits. And then he's like, yeah, and he starts skating.
So I am not particularly a Dave Matthews fan.
No.
But again, I do appreciate his musicianship. I do appreciate the musicians he plays with.
Do you know my favorite thing about Dave Matthews is?
What's that?
There's this really shitty Adam Sandler movie with Jennifer Aniston called, I don't remember what it's called, but at some point in the movie, you meet Nicole Kidman, who is like Jennifer Aniston's arch nemesis from college.
Okay.
And she's married to Dave Matthews.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's a douchebag who, like, he says like he invented the iPhone.
Okay.
But they're at dinner, and at one point, like, the waiter comes over, and like basically, like, if you're Nicole Kidman and I'm Dave Matthews, the waiter comes in like right here and starts pouring Dave Matthews wine, and he's like, "Don't pour over me." And I'm like, that is such a good fucking line. And I'm like, I say it to Katai all the time. Like, whenever she like does something, I'm like, "Don't pour over me."
That's
please.
good. I might have to remember that.
And she looks at me like, "What?" I'm like, "Don't worry, it's a shitty movie."
So it's kind of cool. So the people I'm going with, the main guy that I'm going with, got VIP tickets and he got them for free. So I'm going for that experience to like sit in really good seats in like a box and check it out. But then he hit us up like last week. So I don't know if people know this or not. Dave Matthews owns a vineyard in Charlottesville, Virginia. Because he, like, before he hit it big, he was actually lived in Charlottesville and was playing all over
Charlottesville, Virginia.
There's a bunch of people from Charlottesville, Virginia. Oh, are you talking about the Unholy Four? So funny story though. Back in one of
we're just playing 6 Degrees of the Unholy Four.
One of mine and Sean's like oldest is like a post-disunion band. Before he did the Unholy Four, we went down and played in Charlottesville, Virginia. I think the name of our band at that time was the 96 Shakes.
The 96 Shakes?
Yeah, the 96 Shakes. I think that's what the name of the band was. Which eventually we changed the name because Sean said it sounded too much like a cover band.
Kinda.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it, but like the reason behind the 96 Shakes was kind of funny because we used to work at this bar in not Northeast Philly. We used to work at this bar in Old City, and there was the old manager there, and they were like talking about like Sean and the dude Bayham were talking about old stories they had and whatnot. And Sean was like, "Yeah, man, back in '96, I was drinking a lot and whatnot, and then I like started shaking." And Bam was like, "Yeah, it sounds like you had a case of the 96 Shakes," which is why we named the band the 96 Shakes because it was kind of cool. But but eventually like that band didn't last long anyway. But we actually went down to Virginia and played with some of our other friends' bands down there. And we played
96 Shakes is actually the follow-up album to the 59 Sound.
Yes. But we played at this place called the Tokyo Rose, which apparently like Dave Matthews used to bartend at, and also excuse me, used to play a lot down there too, but it's not there anymore. But at any rate, so Dave Matthews has a vineyard, and the wine is readily available in Pennsylvania. And I will.
Have you had it?
I have.
Is it good?
So let me get to that. Dave Matthews wine. I forget what it's called. It is Benlim. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm thinking it's something. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. So all right. So he has two things. I actually didn't even realize this. So he has Blenheim Vineyards, which is a tasting room designed by Dave Matthews and William Johnson. So that I have been to, which I thought the wines, I went to that vineyard and did not think that the wines were very good, but also it was like not long after the vineyard had opened. What I did not realize and what I have had is Dreaming Trees wine, which is a line of wines created by the collaboration of award-winning Sonoma County winemaker Sean McKenzie and South African-American musician Dave Matthews in Greyersville, California. So
I forgot he's South African.
Yes. So I
like
did
Charlize
not.
Theron.
Yes, exactly. Charlize Theron's beautiful. So I did not realize. I actually thought they were all one and the same, but they're apparently two different things. So I've been to Blenheim Vineyards where I did not like their
You're
wines,
drinking Dave Matthews wine all the time, baby.
but I've had the Dreaming Trees, which I knew was Dave Matthews
Yeah.
wine, but which I do enjoy. The Dreaming Trees is pretty good, but what's kind of cool is the guy who got the tickets. There's 4 of us that are going to Dave Matthews. Sent like a group text, so we get to actually go early to the concert and do a tasting of Dave Matthews wines.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
that's kind of cool.
So it is like I said, I'm in it. I'm not huge Dave, but I am going to go for this experience.
I think you talked about it on last week's episode. But you're more of a fan of the experience.
The experience.
I can't remember if you said it on the air or off the air.
I think it was off the air. We were talking about it, but I'm going to have fun. I'm going with 3 people who are friends, who I really enjoy their company. And we're actually making like a whole day of it. Like Katie took off from work so she could take care of Regina for the day.
Yeah.
So
I remember you saying like he wants to go to like fucking Mooshaloo.
we're going to Mooshaloo for lunch. At least that's the plan right now, is to Mooshaloo for lunch. But like this is also the place where the guy who got the tickets is the owner of the vineyard where Katie and I got married, and is also like my favorite Pennsylvania wine. So we're meeting at his house, which is right on the vineyard, at like 9:00 in the morning. Jesus. And we're gonna start drinking his wine at 9:00 in the morning and have some breakfast, and then we're taking the train down into town.
This was the guy who at your wedding, like, we were going to do shots, and
Yes.
like he just pulled out, like, we were doing shots of like whatever whiskey that you had on the bar, and he's just like, oh, hold on, and he pulls out his own private bottle of Hennessy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, he had a big fucking like gold chain.
He did, yeah, because it's the winemaker's chain. So he's the winemaker. He's got to wear his chain.
Yeah,
So
it's sort of like a big fucking like
yeah.
almost Flavor Flav size fucking pendant around his neck.
Yeah, and it's great. So that's who we're going down with. And like I said, we're starting at like
awesome.
9:00 in the morning. And then we're going to take the train. The plan is to be in Philadelphia proper by like noon. I'm probably going to take them to some bars in Old City. They're not as familiar with Philly as I am, obviously. So probably take them to some bars in Old City. The plan is to hit Mooshaloo for lunch, and now we're going to be doing this wine tasting before the concert. So it's like, fuck, this is awesome.
Speaking of bars in Philly, what was the name of the place that we went to for Zach's bachelor party that Durham like ran?
Smith's is the bar that we ended up going to, which I don't think is around anymore.
Oh,
I think COVID closed down Smith's.
gotcha.
Yeah, but that's where we ended up go, right on I can't remember, it's 19th or 20th by Chestnut Street.
No.
So yeah, that was
I was
a
talking
good
about
time.
that the other night, of how like the bartenders basically towards like the end of the night, like they were only keeping track of every like 5th drink.
Oh yeah, no, they hooked it up like
Yeah.
yeah. So sometimes it helps to have friends, because I remember someone was like, oh, let's go here, and then we just tried to go there and we couldn't go there. We couldn't get in.
It was like super crowded.
Yeah, and that's, but finally I was just like, guys, let's just follow me. You know what I mean? And like, because I knew, like, I'd given them a heads up, like, hey, I might be coming down. Sometimes it helps to have friends in the business.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and what was great, because I gave them the heads up, like I texted them, like, as we were walking over, I was like, yo, there's this many of us. They actually cleared out that section of the bar for us. So like, they're talking about a Center City bar on a Saturday night, and it's crowded, and
we literally had like a good
portion of the bar,
15 feet of that bar.
Yep. And I remember at like one point, I think the dude Dylan was bartending. I think it was Dylan. Just at somewhere, he's just like pouring shots, and I'm just like, who ordered these? He's like, no one. This is for me. I'm like, fuck yeah. So, yeah. No, that was a good time. I wish that Zach had drank more that night, although he got fucked up the night before.
Yeah.
So
it's all right. Our brother Mike got absolutely
he got
annihilated,
smashed. I was like, oh god, he fell asleep.
He fell asleep waiting for the Uber.
Yes,
he fell asleep in the Uber.
Yep.
I had to walk him up to his fucking door.
Yeah, man, he was not good. He was not good. It was fun though. It was a fun day.
It was a really good time.
We had good food. We went to the Butcher Bar, which also you should check out if you ever get a chance. Go to the Butcher Bar, which is in Rittenhouse Square, right off of Rittenhouse Square. That was a good time. And then it was that was fun. It was a fun bachelor party, and that was a good time. It was Smith's, so but what do you think? You're happy with this album?
I'm happy with it.
I'm happy with it.
You're happy with it.
Yes.
Our opinions don't matter for shit.
They don't matter.
I don't know how many years of vinyl collecting we have between the two of us. It doesn't stand for shit.
Nope.
Because there's a 7-month-old upstairs.
There's a 7-month-old whose opinion
matters.
Yes, she has the most important opinion. Like, I don't even know why we call this the Country Hipster Podcast. We should just call it the Regina Factor.
Regina Factor.
Maybe we just change the name altogether to the Regina Factor. Here's what I'll say. Okay, so
the Regina Factor sounds like a reality TV show where like she's a Simon Cowell type person.
Yeah, but she is.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
She really
it could work.
So here's the funny thing about it. This actually probably isn't a horrible idea, because here's what I will realize. If I'm on social media and I post something about the podcast, or if I post something about like an upcoming show or something, I get the standard 5 to 10 likes and maybe a share or two. If I post a picture of Regina, I get like over 100 likes and all these comments, and I'm like, you motherfuckers! It's not that you're seeing my post.
You're seeing it, but
you just don't give a shit about my kid.
Yeah, no. I've told people before in the past, like when they have their first kid, I'm like, congratulations, no one gives a shit about you anymore.
I don't know if people gave a shit about me before, so it's all good.
I gave a shit about you.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Thanks. So, the Regina Factor. Okay, so the Regina Factor is honestly, when it's not completely obvious to how she feels, it's actually really kind of difficult to really figure out the Regina Factor. So I had to think about this into the instances of this. It was borderline indifferent.
Okay.
Right? I actually...
Katie, so I've made it a habit of asking Katie now. I'm like,
you don't trust me?
And I say to her, I'm like, without giving away what Regina thought about it, did you listen to the album and what did you think about it? Because I get the Katie factor beforehand.
Oh, okay.
Because let's face it, Katie's not a 7-month-old baby, so no one gives a shit about her opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah. We do.
We do.
But you guys don't.
Yes. Katai's opinion we don't care about. Katie, however, we do.
But I said to her, I was like, "Oh, did you listen to the album?" And I'm like, she's like, "Which one was it?" I was like, "Manchester Orchestra." And she's like, "I think we only listened to part of it. I only listened to part of it, but it wasn't because like I told him to turn it off. It was more of like Regina was like cranky or something." And
yeah. So she was cranky at the one time, but that was more because we were on our way down the shore and she'd already been in the car for like over 2 hours, and she did sleep through most of it, but like definitely she was getting cranky. So when you have a 7-month-old who's getting cranky, you throw on Little Shop of Horrors to like get her to not be so cranky, or Hairspray, or actually it's funny because I put on The Wiz today for her.
Did you?
Dude, she's fucking into it, man. She was like kicking around, laughing, like joke, like making, like talking to the screen and whatnot. She I think it's a little too long for her. It's like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
What's little Michael doing?
Yeah, right. But at one point, so she did get a little like, I don't want this anymore. But but no, she was into. I got a little video, excuse me, which I'm not sharing on social media, but I did send it to my wife, of her like they were doing Ease On Down the Road, and she's kicking. She's like, Ease On Down the Road, this is great. So she, so that was kind of funny. But yes, when you have a a 7-month-old in the car for, it takes us to get down to the South Jersey Shore. It takes us almost 3 hours to get there.
Jesus.
So it's a bit of a ride. It's a bit of a hike.
It's not worth it.
No, well, it kind of is. Sometimes it is. It's nice to get away.
I hate the fucking shore.
I like the beach. I like the beach. But so I'm kind of discounting that because like she was going to be cranky anyway.
Yeah.
But no, it was borderline indifferent because like, a couple times I tried playing, she kind of fell asleep right away and whatnot. And then I thought back to the first time I played it for, which was we recorded Sunday last week, so I think I did actually play it for her on Monday or Tuesday. No, you know what it was? We ended up doing food shopping on Thursday. So Thursday was the first time I played it for her. And we were heading to food shopping. We get in the car and I play it, and she was listening. Mm-hmm. She was not like singing. She wasn't like, she wasn't crying about it. Yeah. She wasn't saying, but like she was listening. You could tell like the kid's expressive. So she was definitely.
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt you. I just looked past you and I realized you have a Neck of the Woods Brewing sticker.
I do.
On the door.
I do. I also have a Cape May Brewing.
Which sticker. I'm having another.
There you go. There you go. I'm actually having the Cape May Brewing the Bog, the cranberry shandy. So this actually, I think this might have given me some acid reflux the other night, but I'm also going to blame the Twizzlers I was eating.
I don't know why, but like when you said, I think this gave me, I just wanted, is it herpes?
Yes. So that the Bog could give you herpes too. I dated a girl called the Bog, and I'm pretty sure I got herpes from her. I don't have herpes. Just if anybody who's like may have been with me in the past who's like watching this like, wait, does he have fucking herpes? I do not have herpes.
It's not herpes if it's everywhere.
Exactly. So it's heepies. Yeah. But at any rate, so the first time I played this for Regina, she was just kind of looking around and listening to it. She fell asleep within a few minutes, but like her falling asleep to an album is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, she fell asleep more to the fact that we were in the car than anything, but she definitely was intent on listening to it until she fell asleep. After food shopping, I tried playing for her again, but she fell asleep right away. You know what I mean? So I'm actually putting this down as a like.
Okay.
Because like
I say, I'll take the indifferent.
Yeah, no, it was like I said, it was borderline indifferent, but like until I thought back to that very first time and how she was. If she really like fell asleep by the end of the driveway, then I couldn't count that. But like I was a good like mile or two down the road before she finally fell asleep. So she was definitely listening to it. Any of the other times we tried to listen, she was either sleeping or like she was cranky for reasons other than the music.
Yeah.
So I put it down as a like. So I think Regina likes the Manchester Orchestra, which brings Adam's albums to 7 likes and 1 dislike, to my 2 likes and 2 dislikes, and 4 albums that she was indifferent on.
There you go.
So so there you go. So you got that going for you too. Besides the Discogs value, which we'll get into.
Just fucking killing it.
Yes, you're just fucking killing it. Hey, listen. If anything, if this is what you're killing it in life, then at least you got something going for you, because you don't have a whole lot else going on.
I don't know why I just had this weird thought where like I hope like they're like. I hope one of these albums, it's like, actually, this album's worth negative money. And somehow it brings my Discogs value down.
Yeah, I think
it's like you have to pay someone to take that album.
I think everything's worth something. Like, honestly, I know there's one in here where I would not be surprised, like of mine, where I wouldn't be surprised if like the very good value is like $1.50.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. Just because I know it's in there. So, yeah, so I don't know if there's negative value, but there's some like lower value stuff out there. So we kind of talked about the songs that we like and which side of the album they're on and whatnot. So what are your 3 favorite songs?
So I mentioned that 2 of my favorite songs are on the back end of this album. Wolves at Night, side 1, track 1.
Okay.
Golden Ticket.
Okay.
And Collie Strings.
Wow. Okay.
Golden Ticket was the first song by them that I heard, quickly followed by Wolves at Night. And Collie Strings was a song that I forgot existed until I re-listened to this album for this podcast.
So Golden Ticket is a good song. Allison in Tears is also a good song. They're probably, of the side 2 albums, they're probably the two best songs on that side. Let me see something real quick because this doesn't give. In my opinion, they're the two. Yeah,
that's something I didn't mention. I enjoy that little artwork.
Yeah, it's
on
neat.
the label. If
It's
I can
neat.
Give you guys.
Go ahead. Bring it up to the
A
camera,
little bit
Adam.
close to you guys.
Adam's walking up to the camera right now to show you the artwork. There you go.
Little guy with a fedora.
Yes.
I like it.
Yeah, looks like a little like TV gangster.
Yeah.
Sort of guy. So yeah, okay, so all three of my favorites come from the first side, but like the Golden Ticket's good. It is a good song. Allison Interior's Art is a good song. They're different. The whole second side is different from the first side.
If I remember
not
correctly,
in a bad way.
Speaking of like the weird lyrics that he has on this, that there are on this album. If I remember correctly, Sleeper 1972 is the one that goes, when my dad died, the worms ate out both his eyes.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not sure because the second side of the album, I kind of zone out on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's a little bit of a
distracted because I had a lot pee over there and a lot pee over
There
here.
you go. You didn't know which one to grab. I got a lot pee down here, but
man.
that's because I got to pee. I wasn't talking about my penis. I was talking about
That's
actually
a lot
urine.
of pee.
But yes. So that is like kind of like the thing is like that second side. It just kind of blends to me, and it just doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't do as much. So my three favorite, and I just wrote them down, but then I did order them. Number one, The Neighborhood is Bleeding.
Okay.
Number two, Where Have You Been?
Yeah. Where Have You Been is like knocking down the door for top three.
And number three, Now That You're Here, which I seriously love, like all of like the offbeat drums throughout that.
Now that you're home.
Now That You're Home. I'm sorry. Yes, Now That You're Home. Just like the offbeat, like you know what I mean. It's like it's a really good song. It was the first one I wrote down, so it was kind of like, oh shit, is that my favorite on the album?
Yeah.
But then like I went back and I like listened to clips again. I'm like, oh no, I like this one. You know, I like these guys better. So. But yeah, everything I like is off the first side of the album, which is I think is more of like a little more bop, a little more in your face, whereas the second side's a little more laid back, kind of like light up a doob and chill out, and listen to some like feedback a little bit.
Is that what the kids are calling it?
Yeah, man, that's what the kids are calling the doobs. Light a doob, dude. All right, so least favorite song.
I Can Feel Your Pain.
I Can Feel Your Pain. Okay. I Can't Feel Your Pain.
I said that there's parts of the albums that kind of lose you. I Can Feel Your Pain.
That's the second to last song, right?
Fourth song.
Fourth
Song of the album. So Neighborhood is Bleeding.
Fourth. Yeah, okay.
You got Neighborhood is Bleeding, and then you got Where Have You Been, and then right in the middle is I
Can
Feel Your
yeah.
Pain,
Okay.
And I fucking lose it every time.
See, I don't lose it. I like that song.
That's the thing. It's a good song, but I really enjoy Neighborhood is Bleeding. And I really enjoy Where Have You Been?
Yes.
So
actually, so do I.
That preceding it and that following it, I just kind of like at a certain. It happened today, while I was driving up here. I was driving and I texted Katai at the end of The Neighborhood is Bleeding. Didn't even realize that I Can Feel Your Pain played, and then before I knew it, Where Have You Been was playing.
Okay.
So I kind of lose like it album loses me at that point. So I'm like I said, it's not a bad song. It's just I think the weakest song on the weakest link.
See, so my least favorite song is one of your top three, and that is Collie Strings.
Yeah. I figured it would be.
I think it's a little too long, a little too drawn out, and honestly, like there's 11 songs on the album. You take Collie Strings off, and you have a really good 10-song album. Do you know what I mean? Like
but these go to 11. Paul.
I guess, yeah. I just don't feel as if it is that strong of a song or even necessary for this album. It doesn't. It's definitely a slower jam, and you know what I mean, which is fine. It's different from the rest of the album. Like for me, it doesn't fit. Again, I don't hate it though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's just my least favorite song on that album.
It's just the weakest link.
Yes. Yep. So, so you ready for your Discogs value on this?
How much am I selling this record for?
Well, so those are two different questions: the value and what you could sell it for. So, what this appears to be, what your pressing appears to be, is a 2006 repress, unless. Now I have a question. Oh fuck! You probably don't even know.
What?
because you stole this from Zach, or didn't steal it from Zach, but you took it from Zach's.
What about it?
Okay, so
What is something that would be on like the cellophane?
Well, no, it is something that would be is. Do you know if this had a sticker with it? It doesn't. It ultimately does. There's no sticker in there now.
Okay, did you look?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I looked. Yeah, because
I remember there being something.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it, I think it was. I think I might be thinking of like the digital download card for one of the other albums.
All right. So
I don't know if there was a sticker with it.
Okay. So the difference in an original pressing and an early repressing is the sticker.
Which has the sticker?
The original pressing has a sticker.
Okay.
So now there aren't actually really any additional
I'm gonna text Zach.
black vinyl represses. There's a bunch of different represses of this, but they're in different colors. So like there was one in like 2014, 2016, 2021. There was a repress of this, but they're all colored vinyl versions of it.
Yeah.
So the black version. So when you look this album up on Discogs, you can find the black version. It's annoying because it doesn't give you the etchings.
That's
and basically,
which I feel like is how the easiest,
which is how you
the easiest way to identify.
But basicly, it says.
I just text Zach and ask him if he remembers there being a sticker.
But what it says is that on the note on Discogs, it says that the original pressing came with a sticker, and there's like a picture if you look through pictures of the sticker, but subsequent pressings did not. So without the sticker here, I'm assuming that you have a 2006 early repress.
Okay.
Before they started doing the represses in color. There's some clear ones. There's some like blue and gray swirl ones. There's,
I want to talk to you about a clear vinyl in a minute when we're done talking about this.
All right. So there is like different stuff.
Friend
like
of the
that.
podcast, clear vinyl.
Okay. But like I said, because there's only one black pressing, which is, off of the 2006 original pressing. It doesn't affect the value whether or not you have the sticker. It's just a case of, do you have the very first pressing or do you have the second, third, fourth pressing? Yeah. From there go. So your very good plus value of this record is $42.24.
Wow.
Making it $43. But ...
Zach says, I don't remember any details other than I think I bought it in East Goshen. That might not even be 100% accurate.
Okay.
I'm going to say fuck you.
Fuck you, Zach. You're not helping us right now. And, go back to sleep. So
I needed to know life or death.
Yes. But very good plus value, $42.24, which brings it rounded up to $43. But, and this doesn't factor in our competition, thank God.
I would say, what would it have been if if it was the original? With
doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Like I said, that the whether or not it's original doesn't matter. Yeah. There are currently only 4 copies of this pressing for sale on Discogs, and the lowest listed at, and it's also a very good plus, which I'd probably put yours at very good plus because I did listen to I did listen to the vinyl list. Yeah, I listened to vinyl and your cover. So
you had to bring it downstairs with us. So
I brought that up to work on the pod, but I think I actually did listen to it. So the lowest listed copy of this, which is a very good plus copy, of the 4 that are listed of this pressing, is listed at $75 on Discogs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something completely outlandish.
No, well, I mean, I think that is pretty outlandish considering.
I know. I thought you were going to go like ridiculously outlandish.
No, but
like it's the MSRP is $45, but it's the lowest is listed for $300.
Dude, no, like a fucking $30 difference in the MSRP to the what it's listed is pretty different. But yes, you have $43 value on this. Your running total for 10 records is $522.
Jesus.
My running total on 6 records is $273. So you have more than doubled up my current value, but you also are 4 records ahead.
Yeah.
So if you go by the average price of what a record sells for new, you're probably technically like 6 or 7 records ahead of me, but so that's where we are. So we are at.
So I'm sorry, I'm at 520. You're at 2.
You're at 522. I'm at 273. So you are kicking my ass.
Crazy, man.
In this, and
and we've said it before, and we'll say it again. Fucking Steel Train, man.
I know, man. Fuck you, Steel Train. We still have 34 records to go, which at least I have the majority of those on you. I have 4 more. And like, what do they say at like the end of like the NHL season when they're looking at the standings? Like, they're 2 points behind with 3 games at hand or some shit like that. So I'm 4 games at hand right now.
I was like, they're the wild card seed.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I am 3 games at hand on you right now. There is like some weird fucking dead beetle in the box of Michael. Jesus Christ, man. There's all sorts of shit going on. There's a dead spider in here too. Jesus Christ.
Is it are its legs all curled up?
Yeah.
Why is it that spiders do that when they die? Their fucking legs curl up?
I have no idea.
There was something that you wanted to talk about with the box of Mike earlier. You wanted to tell me, but you said you were going to wait, and there was something involved in the box of Mike.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't remember now. I don't recall.
No.
I don't know.
You said it like right before we started recording.
Yeah.
Like, there's something I want to tell you, but I'm going to save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast.
Yeah, fucking. I don't
you can't fucking remember.
Now I can't remember what it was. Oh well. So here we are, the box of Mike. I'm gonna let you pick. I don't know which one of us picked last, but it doesn't matter. You could go ahead and pick this one.
I'm trying to think.
Well, Nick picked last week, and I don't recall who picked the week before.
I think I picked, but I can't remember.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh wait, there's something else in here. It's either wax or hot glue.
Okay, there you go. Could go either way.
All right, or cum.
Or cum. Could
Just cum.
Ooh, this could be that.
Number one. Let's see.
See what number 1 is in the box of Mike.
I just want to make sure that I wasn't going to rip the card.
It's pink, so it could be me.
It is you.
It is me.
It's not my handwriting.
Oh, this is what I was going to say before you read this. Right. So, before you read that, so and which is actually work out really well because I know this is going to happen. So, what I had mentioned was about doing I mentioned this on the last podcast where I'm going to be doing a detox. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be doing a sugar and alcohol detox for about 4 or 5 weeks. So I know, even though you are 4 records ahead of me right now, I have a feeling that I'm going to make it up in those like 4 or 5 weeks, and every single one's going to be a fucking Booze and Vinyl record, and I'm not going to be able to fucking drink. What do we got there?
We got a Booze and Vinyl.
We got a Booze and Vinyl. We got a Booze and Vinyl.
We have something that I'm actually very excited for in its 1-year picks.
What is it?
Pet Sounds.
Pet
Sounds by the Beach Boys.
Where is it?
Which was funny because when we came down, Paul had a stack of records sitting on the table. One of which was a Beach Boys album, and I don't even know which member it was, but I said that he looked like Philip Seymour, the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, Philip Seymour Hoffman. There you go. And actually, I think it was one of the
ones that are dead.
One of the dead ones. One of the dead Beach Boys. All right.
That's the name of my new
His
punk
name's
band.
I can't think of one of the dead Beach Boys. So, the Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. That is. The next one, and figures it's going to be mine.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a Booze and Vinyl. Did you happen to write down which Booze and Vinyl it's in?
I don't know offhand. So
Let's see if I can find it real quick.
What's kind of cool?
Ooh, I literally opened right to it. 174.
So what's kind of great about this is we have a possibility of a few special guests, few people who have talked about wanting to be on this.
Can we have a special guest just so I don't have to drink alone?
Well, I hope so. But also one of the cool things is that we may actually have our first time with our appearance of the Ottsville Record Garage's official bartender.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So I gotta see if we can get our official bartender here on whatever day we decide we're gonna record. Is this a Booze and Vinyl? Fuck,
it's
it's
very basic drinks.
Yeah,
it's a pina colada for side A and a watermelon cooler for side B.
Oh god, sounds like shit I could drink all night.
Yeah.
But we will also there are
I'm marking the page with
1, 2, 3, 4 different people who said they wanted to be guests on this. One of which I know is not available. The other 3 I'll reach out to and we'll see. Very excited about this. This is in my opinion, this is one of the greatest albums written. Like probably the greatest album ever written.
Which is why I'm excited, because I know I've never listened to the album. I'm sure I've heard shit from the album. I've never listened to the album in its entirety, but I know Pet Sounds. They make fun of Pet Sounds in Walk Hard.
Yes, they do.
So
it's a metaphor.
Yeah. The damn goat gets more time on this album than I do. So I mean, I'm really, when I remember when you gave me your list, I saw this and I was like, oh, good. I'm excited to listen to Pet Sounds. So
yeah,
I'm really happy for this one.
And of course, like I said, I'm going to be on detox, so I'm not drinking. I'm not. This is the last.
How long is the detox for?
We are starting. Well, we were supposed to start on Saturday, but then Katie's nephew and his wife, who live out of state, we just found out yesterday they're coming into town and they're going to be there Saturday. So I'm like, well, let's put the detox off till Sunday.
Yeah.
Not for the alcohol purpose, but just because we're going to go over to dinner at her sister's.
Yeah.
And we can't really control what we eat. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? We can't sit there and ask these people, well, you know, make sugar-free shit for us because we're on a detox. It's the first day of the detox. We'll push it back till Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll start Sunday, and we are going to, I'll tell you when. We are starting on Sunday, which will be the 23rd, and we are ending the detox on, our last day of detox is August 23rd. So literally like a straight month.
So like 4 weeks.
2, 3, 4 weeks and 3 days.
For some reason in my head, I remember you said 5 months.
Nah.
And I was like, that sounds awful.
Well, we should, if everything goes well, we should actually be recording like 5 episodes. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that amount of time. So, yeah. So, I know it. I'm going to get 5 records in a row.
5 records in a row.
They're going to be all booze and vinyl episodes.
You're going to have to...
And I'm not going to be able to take part in any of those drinks.
I'm going to get all liquored up.
God damn it. Fuck, I knew that was going to happen. That's all right. I am excited about...
it's funny that you said it. It's like literally like first fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's great.
But that's great. And it's actually very fitting that it's number 1 in our envelopes there, since I do think it's like probably the greatest album ever written.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that next week. Beach Boys, Pet Sounds. I mean, you really more just call it Brian Wilson Pet Sounds, but you know, whatever. Do you have anything else to say about the Manchester Orchestra?
No, just check them out.
Check out Manchester Orchestra. Like I said, I am looking forward to listening to more of their stuff. Very, very happy with this selection from you. You did me proud for once.
That makes me happy that I was able to introduce you to something that you enjoyed.
Yes, I will definitely be checking out more of them. But in the meantime, we will catch up with you next week. But it is time to... Mama!